You're listening to Animal Radio. You can learn more at animalradio.com. Log on. Learn more.
It's Animal Radio, you lucky dog. And our season of stars continues. And as you may know, Davy Jones was scheduled to be a part of Animal Radio's season of stars. And we pre-recorded an interview. Then when Davy Jones died, we deliberated whether or not to run the interview. And we actually put it out there on Facebook. And you said, yes, damn straight. We want to hear it. So this is our tribute to the great late Davy Jones here on Animal Radio. Hey, Davy!
Hello.
How are you doing? Davy Jones joining us. I got to tell you, you have broken the monotony around here.
I can't believe I'm speaking to the Davy Jones.
I'm here. 47 times they mentioned me on the Brady Bunch in one episode. Can you believe it?
Well, now you're still touring?
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, most people think I'm dead, but, you know, I'm not really. I'm out there. In fact, last year, this last year, I played Epcot Center. They call it the Flower Power Festival, and you get all these entertainers, you know, so that come from the 60s, and it's Flower Power. And I've been playing that for about 7 years. You know, you do 3 shows a day, and it's quite easy, you know. I mean, it's an afternoon, evening thing, then you go straight into the fireworks, and you're home by 9:30, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Usually they just wrap me up and put me back in a little Disney box, and I'm out next week, you know. But I played there on Mother's Day, and I am again this year. Any of you people out there, middle of May, want to go to Epcot and see me perform? It's on Mother's Day. This year I gave out T-shirts that said, Davy knows your mother, you know. So, and, you know, something's all changed, of course, because I noticed Peter Noon was there, and so I went to see him the night before. And you know, they're all getting old, these guys, you know. I mean, he sings, Mrs. Brown, you've got a lovely walker, you know what I'm saying? And then Tony Orlando, he was there too, and he's like, knock 3 times on the ceiling if you hear me fall, you know? and Roberta Flack, 50 ways, first time I ever forgot your face, that was what she... And I think Paul Simon's there, 50 ways to lose your liver, but that's, you know... And I think ABBA's singing Denture Queen these days. I'm not quite sure. It's all kind of funny, tongue-in-cheek, you know, because people pat me and say, you look just like you used to. So I made these T-shirts up with my face on from 1967, you know, just to prove them wrong. So, good things stand the test of time, and I think the Monkees can be included in one of those little categories.
Absolutely, especially you.
I got to say, well, Mickey, Mike, and Pete are doing okay. They're all in the Actors' Home in Hollywood, you know. I went to see them a couple of weeks ago, and I went over and I said, do you know who I am? And Peter said, ask the nurse, she'll tell you. So they're all doing good stuff, and they're all working hard, and, you know, it's just a case of setting an example. We didn't ask to be role models. We didn't ask to be, you know, sort of anything other than that TV show about a rock and roll band.
Well, now, it must be the animals that are keeping you so youthful, huh? Well,
yeah, I've got a number of horses. I'm down in Florida here right now. I've got a couple of brood mares that just came back from Ocala in foal to a horse called Genesis, nice horse. And I've got a driving horse. I got an Arab that he is kind of the pony horse. And then I got a little show jumper that we mess around with in the local shows here, and, you know, winner takes all sort of thing. But I have a couple of nice horses, one especially in the town I live in down here. His name is Indian Town Jones, because this is the town I'm in, called Indian Town. So, you know, everyone knows me in town. My picture's up in the local post office. I'm not wanted or anything like that, but I'm about the only guy that's not in that. So, and then, you know, in the local cafe, and they have my records on the wall, and so I'm quite at home, you know. I'm pretty famous here in the suburbs.
If you hadn't started with your singing career with the Monkees, would you have been a jockey?
I think so. I ride work all the time. Anyone that understands what that is, they exercise the horses in the morning on the track. We start about 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Oh, my gosh.
No big deal. You guys are there at that time anyway. I mean, it's just like being a radio personality. You get up, you take care of it, because you've got to be off the track by 10 a.m. because the racing starts at, 1. They've got to prepare that. And I ride 2 or 3 in the morning, gallop a couple. Sometimes I sit on other people's, but, it might be an old grey cottage, but there's a fire burning in the grate. You know what I'm saying? I love to ride. It's kept me really out of those silly, red carpet clubs and the rest of that Hollywood baloney, I'm an entertainer. I don't need anyone around other than my audience to recognize that I'm a celebrity and that I'm pretty famous in their eyes anyway. And you can't tell anyone that's a Davy Jones fan that he can't sing, he can't dance, he's not the best looking guy in the world. And it's very simple. The rules have been laid down, and it's pretty much everybody knows their part. I sing, they scream. I sing again, they applaud. They request stuff, and
you don't get tired of it.
No, it's my life, and I'm very fortunate, as I say, not to diss anybody else, because, it's far easier to be critical than correct. But, I get a bigger buzz out of going into Publix Market down in Florida and have somebody stop me in the cheese department and say, "What are you doing here?
What,
do you know who you are?" Yes. And I say, "Yes, I do know who I am." "Well, why are you in here?" And I say, "Because it's called food." And they expect me to, go moonwalking into the bread department and, then jump into my Rolls Royce opened by my chauffeur. But I'm a pretty down-to-earth guy. The curtain comes down, and that's the end of that character. And I just become a normal person. The horses, I've had a number of dogs over the years. Obviously, Labradors have always been my favorite. They're very compatible. 4 daughters, all girls.
Wow.
They've all rid. I flew a horse out to California, to Del Mar, which is a very prestigious racetrack. It's out there in San Diego, beautiful San Diego. And I loaded him up in Newark and got on a flight, and I met him in Los Angeles. I got him off, we drove him down, got to the Del Mar racetrack. 3 days later, he was running at the Del Mar Futurity Handicap.
Do they enjoy it, Davey? Do they enjoy?
I don't think this boy does. Indiantown Jones enjoys it, because he's quite a baby in the stables. I could sit a stranger on him, and he'd walk around the yard being led, but not. I would never put anyone on the track on him. But I ride him on the track. They like to exercise. They don't want to spend 23 hours in a box. That's the only problem with most racetracks. Sure. They are confined. It is a very hard thing to deal with. My kids hate it. They don't want me to do the racing thing. They love the horses. They want to have a petting zoo,
Besides horses, do you have any dogs or any other animals?
I have a cat. I had a couple of cats. And one of them was scared off by a wildcat, and I'll get him this year. I'll chase him off. But I've chased him off a few times. It's ridiculous.
I can see you running down the street.
Oh, no, yes, I have been, honestly. I live on like a retirement village down here, and it's like I'm passing, people on their bicycles, going round in circles. And I had Labradors in England for many years. I have a lovely old home up in Pennsylvania where I spend half my year, and I've been reluctant to get a dog for the last 10 years. And the reason being is I see deer. There's one doe been down every other year and had her little fawn right in the backyard, only a few acres, right in the middle of the borough, but surrounded by cornfields and such. And then I've got little chippies around, and squirrels, and occasionally the turkeys are there. In fact, the other day we saw a black bear. And I was wondering why the horses were all a little disgruntled and their heads were over the boxes, staring in a direction of the... As I say, I only have 16 acres in the middle of the borough, but, these animals know where they're safe. And once horses are around, they know that there are caring... I don't know what it is. It's an instinct, I'm sure, that they have. But I've always... I recommend it. Whenever I see a dog or somebody's got one on the street or wherever it might be, I'm drawn to it. In fact, last night I went to a friend's house, had a bit of dinner, and the dog was in the backyard, and I said, let him in, let me have a look at him. And so he came in, and he didn't leave my side. They just want to have affection. So they're like human beings. We want to be enjoyed, and we want to be loved, and we want to be hugged, and that's all they care about. And I don't think you can't grow up. I know it's prohibitive sometimes, and in a city especially, to have a large dog or any kind of animals. And I'm not the kind kind of guy that locks my cats up, you know. They tend to want to hang about me. They come into the house and they sit with me when I'm sitting about. They know when I'm kind of down. I know that I had a bit of a cold for the last couple of weeks, and my cat up there, she came in and she sat on the bed, something she would never, ever do.
She knows, huh?
I think they know, and it's a wonderful thing. And you know that, you know, anyone that's got any animals out there that are very easy to deal with, it would be a wonderful thing for you to take your dog, no matter what kind of dog it is. And, you know, I recommend you call up one of those retirement homes, or, you know, obviously it's difficult in the hospitals because of, you know, all the restrictions, but retirement homes and things like that, there's plenty of them out there. And those people that can't have animals anymore would love to stroke a little dog that you bring in, or, you know, a cat in a cage. You know, they all had it when they were younger, and it's something that you can, you know, enrich your life with. You'll be empowered and by doing something for somebody else, and this is what animals do for you. I can't wait to get round the corner and see my horses. You know, they all think that, you know, they're the one, they're the special one.
Oh, of course.
And I brush them over, and I keep them clean. I look after them. It's like, you know, my kid's now 8. It's almost like, you know, it's almost like an excuse for me, and has been, because I've not always been able to be with my children. Mm-hmm. And you've got to have some kind of recreation. I mean, I still do all those, you know, things like anybody else was. I still, you know, try to be on the darts team for 6 months up in Pennsylvania, and I still try to go, you know, down and bowl a few, you know, games down at the alley, and I do normal stuff, and I think that all fits in with being an animal carer and an animal lover, and someone that cares about, you know, being part of a community. And that's all the dog wants to do. That's all the cat wants to be, is, you know, and they say they're independent and they don't need, but I've found that the more company I have with one of my barn cats, she comes in, the more she likes it. Mm-hmm. And I always wondered why she was so, you know, off. She was never very affectionate, mm-hmm. but it was because of me. I didn't give her that affection. And then all of a sudden, now she's getting old. Now she wants to be hugged, and I pick her up every single morning. Aww. And I pick her up. She'll look at me before I put the food down. She'll look at me. I pick her up. I give her a hug, and I just hug her tight, you know. And
you love your animals, and they love you unconditionally.
That's about it.
There you go.
It's like your children, you know.
Yes.
Check out www.davyjones.net. Of course, URLs to everything you've heard on today's show at animalradio.com. Davy, thank you so much for joining us today.
Okay, it's great to talk to you, and, you know, look after those pets, everybody, and hope to see you soon. If you see it up there, check out the page, as we just said, and maybe I'll be coming to you, maybe coming to your town. Boom.
Davy Jones, you will be missed. Animal Radio Season of Stars will continue with Cat Cora, Ed Begley Jr., Gary Berghoff, Eddie Money, Park Overall, Dr. Joyce Brothers, and Donny Osmond. Oh, Lyle Lovett too? Okay.
You're listening to Animal Radio. You can learn more at animalradio.com. Log on. Learn more.